Hi all, Elisa Morgan here for all who are able to join us live or who are able to join us by recording. Welcome. Let me just start off by saying thank you. Thanks for helping me get the word out about hello, beautiful, seeing yourself as God sees you. It's an amazing message. I feel so humbled to be a part of it, so blessed to be a part of it. And I can't believe we're just like, I don't know, 2-3 weeks away from its launch. You've been super patient, and I want to thank you for that. And as a little bit of a gift to you, I'm actually going to read to you from the introduction tonight and give you a bit more of a taste of what this book is about personally. This is just an advanced reader's copy. Don't get too excited. It still isn't here yet, unfortunately. But I should have some copies in the next couple of weeks, and then they'll be available, as we all know, on September the 29th. The beginning of this book tells how it began, how it was formed, and that's the part I want to read to you right now. So this is the introduction. Introduction. Hello, beautiful. Ready? Here we go. I punched open my garage door to flat morning air. Gray, overcast, the kind of sky that tells you to go back inside. But I had committed to the walk, and so off I went in my baggy sweatshorts and my striped tank top. A vision. A frayed Waffle House regular hat covered my not yet washed hair. Anybody who saw me would stop dead, I'm sure. Pumping my arms and angling my hips in my best speed walk looked like a dork posture. I took off down my street towards the entrance to the open space behind our house. I dodged as a man with 2 giant Samoyeds passed from behind. Ever since being nearly devoured by one such dog, I had cowered around this breed. In the distance, I took in Colorado's Front Range Mountains, bravely peeking out from the fog. Ahead, a biker approached, slowing to make his own way around the dogs, which were now some distance in front of me. He stood to pedal back to pace, covering the ground between us, but our eyes met. And though we both wore dark glasses, I could tell he was looking straight at me. But from behind the safety of my shades, I didn't mind. He smiled, and he offered a quick, decisive nod, a bodily wink. Just as his bike passed me, he wolf whistled, and he spoke. Hello, beautiful. Huh? Who was he talking to? I looked quickly to my right and my left, but no one. He couldn't have meant me. Was he kidding? A sideways insult? Or maybe he was a creepy weirdo and he would return to pounce. I forced myself not to turn around, to fully not check him out, not to flinch, not to react. Danger! I counted 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, up to 5, and then I sneaked a peek over my shoulder. The biker was way down the path, his legs working rhythmically, putting more and more distance between us. I was utterly safe. So why was I so on edge? And why did my heart pound still? Hello, beautiful. Intentionally, now that I knew he was gone, I considered the meaning of such an utterance. He said, I was beautiful. Me, Elisa. He couldn't see beneath my Waffle House hat to my unwashed hair, behind my sunglasses to my tired and unmade eyes, beneath my external to my grouchy and ungrateful heart. More to the point, within the walls of my being and to my insecure soul. He couldn't see the ugly. And yet he uttered these words to me. Hello, beautiful. I found myself juggling them like hot potatoes, flinging them hand to hand, looking for a better place to set them, some spot more deserving than me. My mind stopped at an odd but familiar exchange I'd often had with a former board member when I'd served as CEO of MOPS International. I came to call him a curmudgeon. That crusty, cantankerous word described him perfectly. He was simultaneously both a bit gruff and winsomely warm. Initially, I was scared of him. His prickly, pokey approach to topics, his croaky voice punctuating conversations with objections, his bushy eyebrows roller coastering from arching to furrowing and then back again as he made his points. And yet, as I grew familiar with Dennis over the decades of serving together in nonprofit leadership, I grew to truly enjoy his wisdom. Perhaps most endearing was his surprising response to my everyday greeting. Me, "Hello, Dennis, how are you?" Dennis, "I'm gorgeous." Odd response, especially for a man. And yet his reply was always the same, every time, like Barbara Streisand inhabiting Fanny Bryson, Funny Girl, "Hello, gorgeous." Odd response, yes. While at first his unexpected response left me a bit off balance, eventually I became eager for his one-word rearrangement of my world. "Hello, how are you?" "Gorgeous." He had to love that. Was the biker's greeting so much different? "Hello, beautiful." A thought trickled through, just one word: receive. I listened receptively again. "Hello, beautiful." The greeting lingered, like butter on one of those steaming potatoes. The words dripped down the walls of my mind, working into my mood, staining the surface of my eyes so that my vision blurred in just a bit of a lovely yellow hue. Everything looked so much prettier that way, glowing and happy. Running the tongue of my soul over the syllables, I mouthed the words and the consonants. They moistened. I swallowed. An ooze gave way and flowed through me. "Hello, beautiful." They seemed true, and yet the very next moment, ridiculous. Receive. Why was it so hard for me to believe that someone thought I was beautiful? No, go a bit further. Why is it so hard to fathom that I am beautiful? Because I'm just like 96% of the world's women who don't see themselves as beautiful. Yep, that's right. Only 4% of women around the world consider themselves beautiful. That's a stunning number. And it's a stat up from the 2% reported a few years prior. In their Real Beauty Sketches campaign, viewable online on YouTube as one of the most viral video ads of all time, Dove engaged an FBI-trained sketch artist to draw women, first based on their own self-perception and then based on that of a stranger. Imagine describing yourself to an artist behind you who can't see your face, and the artist drawing exactly what you describe. And then a stranger describes you to the artist who draws a second portrait, okay? So guess what the results showed? The stranger's descriptions were regularly more traditionally attractive and similar to what the subjects actually look like in real life. In fact, more than 54% of women globally, that translates to some 672 million, agree that when it comes to how they look, they are their own worst beauty critics. We women can see the beauty in another, but we don't get our own. This has to change. There's a bit of an introduction for you. It goes on from there. And I'm glad that you're here with us today. Carla Foote, our blog manager at Really, and I have been managing this little Google Hangout chat, and we're recording it for others who will join later. We want to know if you have questions and how we can help you as you're sharing information about the book and what it'll be doing for others in the weeks to come. We want to underline, too, that one of the offers that's so specific to share begins actually on September the 14th and runs to September the 28th. It's the pre-order offer. When anyone pre-orders a copy of Hello Beautiful during that window of time from September 14th to September 28th, they will receive a 7-day Devo, a digital download available to them during that time simply by providing their receipt to Thomas Nelson. We're excited about this offer, and it'll only be available for those 14 days. This is real life. You can hear my phone ringing. This is a real book. This is written by a real person who just put on lipstick for you tonight. Don't normally have it on at this time of night. Usually I'm sitting back watching America's Got Talent with everybody else. But we wanted to pull up our chair straight to the computer camera and thank you and get out the word that this book can change lives. You see, the fact is that God loves us. He loves us so much, and we don't get that. Instead, we listen to the hiss that began way back in a garden long ago with a man and a woman named Adam and Eve. We begin to listen to that hiss that says, God doesn't love us. And because we don't believe he loves us, we don't understand how he sees us. God sees us through Jesus. He actually sees us pre-fall and post-resurrection. He sees us as beautiful. Let me tell you a bit about how we'll unpack that material through this book. In the introduction, I'll lead you into what I'm going to be talking about. But in the table of contents, you'll see that I'm really covering three parts: hello, the second, beauty, and the last, full. Hello is a discovery, 4 chapters that lead us through how God sees us and how we just don't truly believe that how he sees us is true. Then I see 5 elements of beauty. The first one is voice, your unique personality. We'll unpack how you can discover yours. Secondly, vessel, your physical body, where we usually focus all of our attention on beauty. Then comes womb, your creative potential, whether or not you've had children. Fourth comes scar, your painful story, and how God really wants to use the beauty of your broken to share his beauty in our world. And the 5th element is sway. That's your influential legacy. We'll conclude the book with the last part, full, encouraging us all to live life to the brim. I'm so glad you're with us. And I also want to encourage you that you can send in questions on our Facebook team. If you have questions to Carla and myself about how you can share this message more, or about what the social memes mean, how you can send them at which dates, etc. In addition to that, I want to encourage you that right now, beginning today, September 1st, and running through the entire month, Kindle has chosen The Beauty of Broken to be their month-long offering in an ebook for the price of $2.99. So if you have been impacted by this book, The Beauty of Broken, or if you know others who need the message that God is not going to waste their brokenness, but in fact, he'll redeem it, I encourage you to log on and get a copy of that for yourself and share that information. Carla, if there's anything you want to share at this point, text me and I'll do so. Otherwise, I want to thank everybody for joining us. We'll do maybe another one of these at some other point, but please tell others that they can access this in our book launch team by logging on through the information we shared in the email. Most important, please know that we think you're beautiful. And this entire adventure is about discovering how God sees us through Jesus, and how that can change us, and how we can change our world as we embrace the beauty of who we are. Thanks for joining us.